been here before, and hello to those that are here for the first time. Pretty much what I do is we just kind of have a little conversation about how to take care of your cat. So this year my theme is kind of health and wellness. So I'm going to give you a few tips. Some of you may know them, some of you may have tried them, many of you may have not. But I'm going to put them out there and just kind of give you some pointers as to what you could do to make your cat's life and your life more comfortable. So this is Peter the cat, and any of you would like a picture with him afterwards, he will be here for a few minutes. Peter is going to help me demonstrate a few things today. The first thing I want to tell you, last year when we were here, we talked about the Greek word for cat, which was for cat lover, which was allurelia. This year, what I wanted to let you know, I like these little tidbits, is that cats used to be called Felis sylvestris, like Sylvester the cat. That means cat of the woods, and generally that referred to tabbies, because tabbies originated from the African wild cats. They're the most original. They now are called Felis catus. That's the scientific genus name for a cat. So you can tell your friends you own a Felis catus. Okay, that's a domestic cat. The first thing I wanted to talk about is, let me just get my little notes here. Okay, left paw, right paw. Many of you may not realize that cats are either mostly left paw or they're right paw. Some are ambidextrous or ambilateral as they're called, but there's a few ways you can tell. If you look at your cat and you watch the way that they groom themselves, male cats generally groom themselves with their left paw, okay? If they reach for their food or their toy, look at which paw they use. Male cats generally are going to be left pawed. Female cats, 73% are going to be right pawed. My cat, believe it or not, is ambilateral. I was watching her the other night, and she does a little of both. She's not really dominant in one or the other, which is unusual, but it does happen. So next time you're home, watch your cat, see what they do, and see which paw they use most. Which paw do they get off the chair or onto their bed with? And you'll know if they're left or right pawed. Okay, now, the biggest thing is, as you all know, for human beings, oral health is huge. You know, it helps with your body, it helps with your bloodstream, it makes you healthy. That's why I say go to the dentist, go to the dentist. Well, believe it or not, oral health is really important for animals. So I have 3 tips that you can try on how to learn to brush your cat's teeth. This is very important. If they're a much, much older cat, Peter here is only about 2 years old. But if they're a much, much older cat, like my cat's 10, they're not as receptive to doing this, but there are a few tricks. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get your cat in a comfortable position, whether it's his favorite chair, or his bed, or on the counter, and you want to make him feel relaxed. And while you're doing that, you want to rub their face around where their mouth is, so they get used to your hand going near their mouth, because you know cats don't like their mouths touched. This will take time. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in 2 or 3 days. But if you do it for a period of time, say a week or so, they will get used to that. You can even, if you want to, you can even wrap toothpaste and put it near him as you're rubbing his teeth. Once he's used to your hand being near their face, then what you want to do is start with a toothbrush. Right? So we have a toothbrush. The idea behind this is to let them get used to it. So what you can do is put your toothpaste on the toothbrush and just put it near them and let them smell it, and let them lick it, let them chew on the brush, and you do this for a period of time. Now, they're used to you being near their face, they're in a comfortable position, and they know that this is something that is good for them. The last thing you do is that you want to lift their lip and you want to start to brush their teeth. You start with the back, and you move to the front, and you move to the side. That's all you have to do. And if you have a little water bottle, you might want to squirt a little water in there for them to rinse their mouth. Remember, please, do not use human toothpaste, all right? It is very toxic. Your vet or the pet stores have actual toothpaste that's made for your animals. So, step 1, make them comfortable, make them feel secure, pet their face, get them used. Step 2, let them get used to the toothbrush and the smell of the toothpaste. Step 3, brush their teeth. There you have it. It's really good if you can do it with younger cats, but if you have an older cat, it's worth trying. I won't guarantee it'll work, but it's worth trying because it's good for their health. So that's my tip on dental hygiene. So when you're doing your teeth, remember your cat needs to do their teeth as well. Okay, any questions? Any comments? At this point, I'm going to introduce my friend Donna De Benedictis. Donna, as you see on the table, you have chakra handouts. And with it is the points. These are the energy points. As in humans have so many energy points in their body for Reiki. So do animals. So I did print out the cat chakra points, and there's a description, an explanation of what they mean. So just to give you a few tips before I let Donna speak, is the eyebrow. The eyebrow, as you can see, is acceptance of self. The imbalance is if they have headaches, or they have bad eyes, or they're detached. So every color reflects a spot on their body, and I've given you what the imbalance could be and how it is connected to making them healthy. At this point, I'd like to introduce Donna, and she's going to give just a brief discussion on Reiki.
Okay. Hi, I'm Donna De Benedictis, and I'm a Reiki practitioner. I just want to bring it to your attention that there is pet Reiki, and pet Reiki will help you, and I'm not schooled in pet Reiki, it's just available. It will help your animal relax. If your animal is suffering from, my granddaughter's got a dog that's like a kangaroo, and just a little bit of Reiki with the hands on that animal quiets the, not immediately, but eventually it will quiet the animal down. And also, if your animal is suffering from anxiety, it can help them. So if you're interested in pet Reiki for an animal, I have some business cards to the Healing Way Center, is where I do Reiki. Wednesday night, they're having a free animal forum, and it's about the pets. So you can call and get the information, or go online and give you the business card. Do you have any questions?
Okay, I did a little research on Reiki, and it really is interesting how many people, how many practitioners, and how many masters do Reiki on animals, and they find that it does help, especially if you have a terminally ill animal. I read that it can help them with the anxiety and the fear. So if you're having to take them in, say it's the end of life kind of thing, if you have this done or have a Reiki master or practitioner assist you, it does help the cat become more comfortable and less fearful of what's happening to them. The same if you've got a very stressful cat or a cat that's not very responsive to you. Again, there are certain points in their body that if the Reiki is used can help them be more receptive to their owner. I read that there's two types of Reiki for animals. One is called giving energy, and one is called hands-on. So giving is when a cat doesn't want to be close to you, but you can actually extend the energy out. And again, Donna's and her master, if you go to this, they'll explain it better. But there are cats that will become comfortable, that they will still start to come close to as they become comfortable with the energy. The other one is cats that like to have, they do the hand, like they do with humans. They do the hands-on Reiki. It's that same idea where they pull the energy, you know, closer to the cat and help them with that. So it's something to think about. Donna has some business cards, and she has those 2 dates you might want to consider going to. It would be very helpful. I think it's a neat idea. You know, it's anything you can do to make your pet's life more, and yours, more comfortable, make your pet more receptive to you, I think is a good thing. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, because we have two models here besides Peter. We have two models here today. We have a all black cat and a ginger tabby. They're really beautiful cats. So I want to talk about how you can tell what your cat's personality is. Now, please bear in mind, it doesn't apply to every single cat, but this is a general kind of an overview as to what the personality of your cat is. And your cat's personality is determined not by breed, it's determined by coloring, the colors of the fur. So I've got sort of a little chart here, and we're going to talk just about a few of them. Peter here is a black and white cat. So if you have a black and white cat, a gray and white cat, you will find that they are resourceful, they're clever, they're great mousers, but they're less affectionate than other cats. All right, so black and white, gray and white, a little bit more standoffish. If you have an all black cat, and Yoki's here in his carriage, I think. Is he there?
Yes.
He's beautiful. There. So an all black cat is actually more related to its wild ancestors. It has a reputation for being wild, unpredictable. People, as you know, think cats are unlucky, but many cultures think black cats are very lucky. They can be stubborn and friendly at the same time, and they're extremely independent. So when you're looking to take on a cat, if you want a cat that's a cuddle bun, it may not be a black cat, because they're kind of like, yes, they love you, no, they don't, yes, they do, no, they don't. So just bear that in mind. Again, that's for solid black cats. Now, I have what's called a Torby. It's a combination of a tortoise and a tabby, gives you a Torby, T-O-R-B-I-E. Tortoises are called torties, but you combine a tabby and a tortoise and you get a Torby. Tabbies descended from the African wild cats, okay? They're solitary, they're aggressive, they're hunters, they like to be outdoors. Again, they're not found to be very friendly. However, tortoises and Torbies are very much the diva of the cats. They're very diva-ish, they are very affectionate, but they're very vocal. They tell you what they want, they tell you what they don't want. They're skittish sometimes, they're territorial. So if you have a tortoise or a Torby, they pretty much will protect you. They don't like to share you with anybody else. And I can tell you for a fact, I had a male tortoise before I came here to school. And when my boyfriend used to come over, he would come and sit on the couch. And Chatem would get up on the couch and wrap himself around me and sit facing my boyfriend so that he couldn't get close. So they are very territorial. So looking at what you have now, there are cats that are like light colored. Maybe they're cream, maybe like a real light gray. They have a dilution gene, so they don't really have any noticeable traits because they have combination of colors from many cats, but it's diluted out. So they're kind of hard to label as to what they want for personalities. So I say tortoises, but again, it's not every cat. You may have a gray cat that's just a cuddle bun. You may have a black cat that just won't get off your lap, and you may have a Torby that just wants nothing to do with you. So it just depends on, part is on the cat, but to overall personality, you look at the breed, at the colors of the fur. And as you know, tabbies are usually gray-black, green-gray. They're kind of a very blah color, and they have black striping around them. Well, I don't mean blah in a bad way, but they're just sort of non-distinctive colors. Where your tortoises are a combination of your calicos, and calicos have less of a trait as well. And then calicos and your tortoises make your Torby. So personality is kind of fun. You can kind of look at your cat, see what the personality is. Anybody, what kind of cat do you guys have?
We actually don't have any.
Oh, okay.
She just likes cats. We used to.
What about you?
I have a calico, an orange and white, and a black and white, and an all black.
And how do you find their personalities?
The all black will sometimes love you, but he mostly just wants to do whatever he wants to do.
Okay.
The calico is a huge love bug with me now, but kind of like doesn't really like anyone else now.
Okay.
The black and white, he's the biggest attention hog. For, like mostly me and my boyfriend though. He just wants like to be hugged and loved. And the orange and white is vocal like crazy. Just meows all the time. If he's running low on food, he'll let you know. He'll come in and he'll be like, hey, food,
So they kind of do follow the description. And you guys have a cat back there? No?
Rabbit.
Do you have a cat? No? Okay. All right, so, anybody have any questions? Yes?
No, I was like, I have a European black and white short hair.
Oh, do you? What's her personality like?
I mean, she volunteers. There's not many cats that volunteer, and she's totally chill. But she's very vocal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, my cat is extremely vocal. My cat is really just a very odd cat, and I think I've told you that in the past. Her big thing now is, when I'm sitting in a chair like this, she will come only to the left side, and she does this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I have to pet her. And the minute I stop petting her, she will literally put her paws on top of the chair and make noises at me until I do it again. And it's only the left side. No matter what chair I'm in, it's always on the left side. I don't understand that, but that's what Minnie does. She's very odd. She's very odd. All right, and so the last thing I wanted to talk about with respect to health is obesity in cats, which is prevalent. I have to tell you right now, this is Minnie, and she's a chunky monkey. She is. She's a nibbler. She doesn't eat full meals, but she nibbles. But she's not active in the winter. So she, hi, come see Peter. Come on. Come see Peter now. Come see Peter. She's a nibbler, but in the summer she's outdoors more. She's not an outdoor cat, but she's more active. So when it comes to obesity, there's about 4 things you should really consider. 1, you should always take your cat at least once a year to the vet. I know it's expensive, trust me, but it's worth it. They can weigh the cat. They can let you know where they are on the scale of like with human with respect to the obesity level. They can recommend foods that would be helpful in dieting your cat, which trust me, cats don't like to go on diets. Minnie does not like diets. She likes her fishies and she likes her treats. So, but I do the best I can with her. The other thing is exercise, especially in the winter time, because most cats are more dormant. So you got to get them to play, because in addition to being overweight, obesity in older cats can lead to dementia. And that was something I wasn't aware of until I started looking into this. And so the less, it's like a human, the less you use, the more you're going to lose. So you want to keep them active, you want to keep them stimulated, even if it's just, chasing with a string or, hiding their food so they have to hunt for it or something. You want to keep their brain going. So as they get older, if you happen to have a really elderly cat and you see them start sitting there like staring at the wall, like this, that's a sign to be concerned, because it could mean that there is some form of brain function going on that's not working. So if that persists, or if they sit and they cry a lot and cry, or they kind of wander and they're not going anywhere, again, you want to get it looked at, because that could be a sign of the dementia. So with the obesity, you want to have them weighed, you want to talk to the vet, you really want to keep them active, and just make sure that they get to play. Play is huge, and their food. A lot of us buy the foods in the grocery stores. I've gotten to the point where Minnie has an intolerance to chicken, and unfortunately, every commercial food has got chicken or chicken byproducts, and it's really hard to find food without that in it. So I've become an avid label reader just because I have to with her. But a lot of these commercial foods have a lot of fat in them, so you want to just kind of maybe take a look at how much fat is in whatever you're buying, and maybe try to wean them onto something that's more protein, less fat, which would be a good thing. Anybody got any questions? Any comments? Yes?
I'll add a couple things to that, because we've been dealing with
Sure.
issues with our cats at the house. Canned food is less caloric than dry, which a lot of people don't realize that, and the moisture is very good, especially for your male kitties with urinary. They need the extra moisture.
Right.
And I don't leave food down anymore, because grazing adds to that.
That's
And
right.
set feedings and set amount of food that gets measured.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute I go in the kitchen, they all want food, but the benefit of that is they're getting measured food every day. I know who's eating, so if somebody is not eating,
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly who it is, and that's an early sign to say, I need the vet.
Okay.
Which people don't think of that. It helps
Right.
if you're away, then your pet sitter can get everybody out because they're hungry. So there's many benefits of also
Right.
setting food. It doesn't always work for everybody's schedule, and it takes education and learning on both aspects,
Right.
because the cats are not happy at first,
Right.
because they want their food all
Right.
the time.
That's-
And once they get on it, the benefits, I've been doing that probably 7 or 8 years now,
Right.
and it's amazing. And
Right.
I catch things earlier when they're starting
Yeah.
to go off feed than if they were just going to dish
Yeah.
whatever they want.
You're right, grazing is not good, and unfortunately, that's what I've done with Minnie over the years, so now she's come to expect it, and it's really hard. Once they're in that zone, it's really hard to change that, She even knows when I open the refrigerator, she's up at her table, and she wants whatever's in that refrigerator, and it's really hard to say no to her, because they sit there with this beautiful little face, and they pout at you, and they, look at you. And you're right, dry food is really not as good protein-wise and vitamin-wise as wet food. But I think I told you, many of you last year, that I have Minnie drinks out of a wine glass. So I have a wine glass of water that I leave on the floor on her mat for her. So that whenever, and she does drink out, she doesn't drink a lot of water. If cats are drinking a lot of water, there's a problem. There's a problem with their kidneys, there's a problem with, their urinary tract, there's something is wrong. So a lot of water is not good. But a little water they should be taking in. If they're not getting wet food, you want to give them a little water when they have their dry food, okay? But yeah, those are excellent points. So anybody else have anything they want to add? Yes?
My cat has just the opposite problem. He lost 2 pounds last year,
Uh-huh.
and so I do eat food out all the time.
Yeah.
He'll eat up.
Has he been to the vet to make sure there's nothing wrong?
So he's just there this week.
Okay, all right. When some cats just don't gain weight, which is, you know, a good thing. But losing weight is never a good thing, whether it's in humans or in animals. Losing weight is, you know, is something you really want to keep your eye on, because that can be a sign of something that's very seriously or starting to go wrong with them.
And cats are very good at hiding illness. until it's
Absolutely,
too bad.
absolutely. In fact, Minnie has an intolerance to protein, and she gets an inflamed fanny every time she gets too much chicken in her. What she does is she hides. She burrows under all my blankets, and she'll literally wrap herself up like a cocoon. And when I come home and I can't find her, all I have to do is look for a big mound wrapped up in my blankets, and I know that Minnie's there and she's not feeling good. So they do hide. You're absolutely right. They will hide. And it's not like a dog where they're more prevalent to let you know when there's something wrong. So again, I want to keep an eye on that as well. And the last thing is, why are cats good for us? There's many reasons why, but a couple of interesting ones I found out that one, people that own cats are smarter, they're more intelligent, they're actually more of an introvert, but they are wiser. People that own cats find partners easier, obviously better than dogs for some reason. And most of all, it's because they're great companions. They love you to death, whether they're a cuddle bunny or sort of a stay away from me. They're immensely. They're good for your blood pressure. They're good for your heart rate. They're just overall, they're good for your environment. So that's all I have to say. I hope everybody got something helpful out of it. And thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Feel free to take your hand out with you, and then as you go by the door, we have little toy cats for the kids as they go. So, Peter, would you be willing to assist handing out them over here? Come with me. Good boy. What a good boy. Are you
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take pictures of them. I wasn't sure.
I know, I was ready for the same thing. I was like,
Richie's allergic.
oh, yeah. There's rescues. They're all just rescues of all different types that we took in as adults. And my latest, we took in at 12, and 9 months ago she got into us, and I switched her over to set feeding. It was gradual. You know, and it's not easy to do at first because you feel bad. It's the best thing I ever did, like probably 7 or 8 years ago, I went to set feedings. I measure, hand, dry, everything. And when I'm at work, they get 2 meals a day. And then I divide it up between
Do they?
home, I divide it between because I do breakfast, lunch.
So you're kind of like,
And then I'll do
like they go to
Yeah.
elderly people and stuff like that? How cool is that? Oh, let me see.
And then they do all like the double thyroid test
Yeah,
and
she was
make sure it
actually
wasn't thyroid.
Really?
Yeah, and he gained
There's not many cats.
last year.
No, there isn't. It's an awesome idea. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
So for the teeth brushing, we had an extra stuff I used to dip the toothbrush in the cat food and get the gravy on it.
That's
And then they lick it and get used to it.
That's an excellent idea.
When they're older,
Anything
too,
that
they
you can get them
naturally
to
lose
get them
weight as
used to
they get
having
older and
it
their
in
blood
their
might not show anything.
Yeah,
It's
and
just-
sometimes like I had one cat who doesn't like her teeth brushed. He started by just putting the brush in her mouth.
Mhm.
It's not enough, so just breaking it
Well,
down.
gravity's
into smaller
pulling
steps.
everything
Right.
Really good.
down
Right.
when they're seeing.
Okay,
Are you ready?
Peter, I need a picture of you.
Shut up when she's done talking.
I'm sorry?
I want a picture of
Can't understand you.
That is so nice.